The Tesla short sellers were previously a vociferous group of investors sponsored by Jim Chanos and David Einhorn, two of whom were depicted in The Big Short. Tesla short sellers appear to have vanished after the company's meteoric rise from around $36 per share to over $1,200 today. So how did the short sellers fare, and where are they now? Tesla short sellers aren't simply a bunch of unlucky fund managers. They're a group of influential guys who nearly brought Tesla down. These are Wall Street stock predators. They make a living by shorting companies in order to destroy them. That is their business model, and they are not intellectual traders who only speculate on the outcome. Instead, they engineer it. But before we name out these worst short sellers in history, please accept my warmest greetings if this is your first visit to our Smart Stocks Academy channel. Hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell next to it to be the first to know when a new video like this is released. Now let's get to the video as soon as possible. The battle between Elon Musk and Tesla short sellers is a personal one for him. Short sellers are value killers and should be banned, says Elon Musk. And with that in mind, we must discuss David Einhorn, the most well-known short seller of them all. Einhorn began shorting Tesla stock in 2016 after referring to Musk as a promotional CEO. In the beginning of 2016, David Einhorn's asset under management, or AUM, reached above $15 billion. That is obviously a significant sum, and for good reason. Einhorn has a stellar track record, having consistently outperformed the market. Unbeknownst to Einhorn, the beginning of his Tesla short is also the beginning of the end for his career. In 2019, Einhorn revealed his greatest concept at the CNBC SON conference. Tesla is destined to collapse, and he believes Elon Musk will make a mistake, as evidenced by a slide display of Musk remarks.
Napoleon once said, "Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake." So I won't. Just watch the screen. That's a lot of horse shit.
Einhorn accused Musk of being a major con artist a few months later. Elon Musk had enough and retaliated against Einhorn. Musk goes on to explain Tesla's recent developments before offering a tour of Texas facilities and a pair of shorts. Regards, Elon Musk, he wrote at the end of the letter. After Tesla's meteoric increase, Einhorn revealed that his Tesla short was his largest loser in 2020. In 2020, the value of Tesla shares have climbed by nearly 8 times. It certainly had a negative impact on Einhorn's fund. 4 months later, he chastised Elon Musk and Chamath Palihapitiya for stoking the emergence of GameStop. As if things couldn't get much worse, Einhorn's career is likely to come an end with Tesla's recent upward movement. In the most recent SEC filings, Einhorn's asset under management dropped all the way to $1.5 billion, and it is certainly much lower right now. Remember, he started with $15 billion in 2016. Jim Chanos, a hedge fund manager, is another well-known Tesla short seller. Chanos rose to prominence by shorting Enron, one of the largest corporate frauds in history. Chanos was in charge of nearly $7 billion in the aftermath of the 2008 recession, when almost everything crumbled. Unfortunately for Chanos, his performance in the following decade was awful. Chanos declared in 2015 that he was shorting Tesla stock due to the company's valuation. And by 2018, Chanos had only $2 billion in asset under management, a dramatic decrease from its former AUM of $7 billion. As the stock market rose, Chanos' fund continued to plummet. His fund only has $932 million in assets at the end of 2019. Chanos used to profit on 2/3 of his short plays, but that rate has recently decreased to 1/3.
Normally, we're right on about 2/3 of our positions, sometimes as high as 70%. And I would say that the opposite has happened now. I haven't looked at it recently, but I'd say maybe we've been right on about 1/3 of our positions and wrong on 2/3 price-wise.
Tesla's meteoric climb was the final nail in China's coffin. In the middle of the pandemic, Chanos announced that he was still maximum short on Tesla. Tesla stock was on the down at that moment, and we all know how nicely it worked out in the end.
We are still basically maximum short Tesla. It's still one of my favorite positions.
Chanos' daring claim backfired miserably, and by the end of 2020, the value of Tesla shares will have increased by over 5 times. Chanos was first to close a significant portion of his short position as a result of the massive increase. He was no longer max short on Tesla by December 2020.
No, we're not max short, only because there's not only, but we are still short. But there's now so many other things to do, including in the EV space, that we found lots of other things that are maybe even crazier than Tesla.
Chanos' AUM had dropped to just $405 million by the end of 2020. That's a significant drop from his previous AUM of $7 billion. Chanos was losing too much money on his Tesla short bet by the beginning of 2020. He was most likely losing more money in the Tesla short position than he had first invested. Chanos said in January 2021 that he was replacing a short position with Tesla put options. Despite the fact that Tesla stock has continued to grow, Jim Chanos continues to keep his Tesla put options. Chanos' fund, dubbed Heinekus Associates, has shrunk to the point that he no longer needs to file a quarterly SEC report. Tesla is without a doubt the pinnacle of Chanos' career. Chanos once claimed that the results will be reflected in the stock price over time, but it is evident that he was completely wrong.
And the results will always will out, right? Either the shorts or the longs are going to be right about something, and the stock will reflect that over time.
Jim Chanos was a legendary short seller, but 2 other investors are also in that category. Steve Eisman and Michael Burry are 2 of those investors. They were both featured in the film The Big Short, and one of the few investors that profited handsomely from the 2008 financial crisis. Shorting Tesla stock did not work out well for each of them. In July of 2018, Steve Eisman announced a short position in Tesla, and by February 2020, Tesla stock will have risen to unprecedented heights. Eisman announced that he had filled the vacancy. Eisman had had enough of the suffering.
Steve, let me cut to the chase. Are you still short Tesla?
I covered a while ago.
How did you cover? What was the decision tree to make that decision?
Look, everybody has a pain threshold, and when a stock becomes unmoored from valuation because it has certain dynamic growth aspects to it and has cult-like aspects to it, you have to just walk away.
Michael Burry tried to short Tesla recently, but he failed spectacularly. He definitely believes Tesla is a fantastic company, but he disagrees with Tesla's valuation. Michael Burry bought put options on Tesla stock for more than $730 million. Burry's position, like that all of the other Tesla short sellers, did not pan out. Burry announced that he has covered his Tesla short position as the shares surged to around $840 per share. CNBC emailed him asking if his Tesla put options were still available. Burry replied to CNBC's email with the following. Michael Burry most likely bought out of the money put options, which are put options with a strike price lower than the current market price. This means he did not invest the hundreds or even tens of million dollars he claimed. Burry is believed to have lost a considerable amount of money on Tesla. When he originally shorted Tesla, he did so at a price of around $600 to $800 per share. We've seen several millionaires lose huge sums of money by shorting Tesla over and time again. Yet, they're usually still in a good financial situation. Mark Spiegel, on the other hand, is a short seller who cannot afford to lose millions of dollars. Tesla short theses were initially announced by Mark Spiegel on Seeking Alpha in July of 2013. By 2018, Spiegel had publicly stated that he was short $7 million on Tesla stock through Stanfield Capital's put options. It is impossible to imagine someone shorting Tesla for more than 8 years. Yet, Spiegel has done just that. One of the key reasons for his perseverance is that other Tesla short sellers are consistently confirming his views.
So the name of this presentation is Tesla is still a zero. Now I know Tesla longs think it's all about the future. And by the way, I'm sure there are zero Tesla longs in this room because this is a short selling conference.
Spiegel even confessed that at the start of 2020 that he was terrible at predicting the future of Tesla stock. On January 16, 2020, he told NPR this. Tesla stock is still being shorted by Spiegel today. He's already lost millions of dollars to Tesla, and he's seen Tesla deplete his entire portfolio in the past. Despite this, he is still trying to recoup his losses with a price objective of $30 per Tesla stock.
We've been short Tesla a hell of a lot longer than I ever thought I'd have to be short Tesla. We've been short it really since 2014 in reasonable size. I put on a tiny position in 2013, but it wasn't meaningful. So yeah, we've been short Tesla, and it's hurt us because I had a lot of stocks that made a lot of money last year, but overall the fund was down a little bit last year, entirely due to the Tesla short.
After Tesla's recent surge, Spiegel clients are likely to have lost even more money. He revealed in August of 2021 that he was shorting the most Tesla stock in his fund's history.
Right now, we're about as short in terms of size and largeness of size as a percentage of AUM as we've ever been. I mean, I got us that way really last week. And I know this thing is about to collapse, and I felt it for a while, but when I'm wrong, I just stop it out and put it on a little bit higher. And that's what I've been doing to sort of control the risk and be there when it finally happens.
Despite his distaste for Tesla, Spiegel has a new wager that he feels will pay off. Spiegel's short position against ARK Invest is the wager I'm referring about.
I just look at ARK as sort of the poster child for this bubble market, and it's just the easiest for me, sort of one-stop shorting for, last I looked, 49 bubble stocks. And rather than getting involved with each one and putting on a 1 or 2% position on each one, I just put on a large ARK position. Cathie Wood is a joke.
Spiegel thinks Cathie Woods is a joke, despite the fact that his fund has underperformed the market by about 200% since 2011. Even if Cathie's equities are in a bubble, it's a tough time for someone in Cathie's position to belittle any other fund manager. If Tesla stock maintains its present levels and surges to new highs, it is reasonable to conclude that Spiegel will soon be out of a job. Gordon Johnson is the biggest financial farce of all time. In a nutshell, Gordon is depicted in the following clip.
In a nutshell, Tesla is essentially a busted growth story. Essentially, we see Tesla as a busted growth story. Essentially, it's pretty simple. We see Tesla as a busted growth story. It's a busted growth story. That is effectively a busted growth story. It's a fact that it's a busted growth story. And again, it's a busted growth story, and they don't have any technological disadvantage.
Gordon is most likely speaking poorly about Tesla in order to sell his study at GLJ Research, which he started. Gordon was fired from Vertical Group before starting GLJ Research because he was consistently wrong about Tesla. At this point, anyone who buys Gordon's study honestly deserves to lose their money. Shorting Tesla has destroyed the careers of billionaires like Chanos and Einhorn. Even Steve Eisman and Michael Burry, the two legends of the Big Short, are unable to profitably short Tesla shares. Regardless of your feelings about Tesla's valuation, shorting the stock is a terrible idea. Tell me what you think about Tesla's short sellers in the comments below. Will they be able to recover from their losses? And with that, the video for today comes to a close. To express your love and support for this video, click the like button below if you haven't already. Also, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button below. And don't forget to hit the notification bell next to it to be the first to know when a new video is posted. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and we hope you enjoyed yourself. We look forward to seeing you again soon.